Let's go on a trip together to a totally alternative universe. You never hear what's happening there unless you tune into right-wing talk radio. But you need to know what they are saying, because the most popular, most powerful talkers in the country have trained their sights on Joe Biden. What you are about to hear them say is mind-boggling. Look, whether you like Biden or not, this stuff is offensive and otherworldly. There's Michael Savage saying, "I pity the man." There's Mark Levin saying, "I think Biden's in a nursing home." What the heck is going on these programs? Aaron, your view of this, when you see entire media companies essentially exist to tear down Joe Biden, is there an equivalent to that on the left tearing down Trump?
There really isn't.
The story that's playing out every day on our TV screens and Twitter feeds. He's getting worse. We can all see it. It's happening in public. But it's still a very hard, very sensitive story to cover. I'm talking, of course, about President Trump, about his behavior, about his instability, the contradictions, the lies, the complete rejection of reality.
The new explosive book, Fire and Fury, is giving lawmakers more momentum to question whether President Trump is mentally fit for office.
Conway today saying that the president is psychologically unfit, he should resign and seek treatment. I said, this is astonishing to see the husband of a top White House official say this on Twitter.
Is it true that Republican colleagues of yours expressed concern about President Trump's mental health? You're looking at live pictures of President Trump at Joint Base Andrews. He's just finished with his physical, and he's headed to Mar-a-Lago for the weekend. It's a good time as he finished up his physical for us to talk about.
New questions this morning about President Trump's health after he made a sudden, unannounced, unscheduled visit to Walter Reed Medical Center over the weekend.
And the president has this history of misleading the media about his health.
Here is President Trump's official body mass index. He is reportedly yesterday 6'3" tall, though that is different from previous official exams where he was 6'2". So somehow he has grown while being in the White House.
Okay, Mr. President, out of that golf cart and onto the treadmill.
And his weight was 239, meaning his body mass index is 29.9.
Have you heard the juiciest part of the Trump-Cohen tape?
Well, they don't have a They don't have a legitimate purpose.
Incontrovertible evidence of a thirsty president.
29.9 means someone is overweight. 30, just to give you a little bit of context, means someone is obese.
Okay, so he's that 0.1 away from being in the obese category.
We already knew he hankers for taco bowls and Big Macs and KFC, eaten with a knife and a fork.
A score of over 100 means a high risk of heart attack or heart disease within 3 to 5 years.
It's like American wine's better than French wines. Even though I don't drink wine. I just like the way they look.
I like that. Just like the way they look. I'm with him on that one. American wines look better. I don't know how exactly. They look more like freedom.
You've heard him lovingly describe the dessert being served as he informed China's leader that U.S. missiles had been launched against Syria.
And we had the most beautiful piece of chocolate cake that you've ever seen.
I mean, I remember so many days, me and Whiff and Scoozer, J-Bob, sitting around the dorm room at Yale, just pounding American wine, gnawing on steak, just winning, not losing, just winning.
Quote, he imposed a set of rules. Nobody touch anything, especially not his toothbrush. And then it says in parenthetical, he had a long-time fear of being poisoned. One reason why he liked to eat at McDonald's. Nobody knew he was coming, and the food was safely pre-made. I don't know if that's true, but that's very interesting.
Sounds like a convenient excuse to just say,
you like McDonald's?
With the salad course, Trump is served what appears to be Thousand Island dressing instead of the creamy vinaigrette for his guests. We're hearing the president is occasionally trading in a steak.
Super golden.
For a Dover sole, and leaving off the top bun when he eats a burger. At the dessert course, he gets 2 scoops of vanilla ice cream with his chocolate cream pie, instead of the single scoop for everyone else. Keep in mind that this is a guy who has expressed the view that exercise is bad for you. The only thing on the president that got a real workout? His hands. The event was organized by the President's Council on Sports, Fitness, and Nutrition. 3 things not instantly associated with the president.
I've always had people say, Donald, you have the most beautiful hands.
Well, not everyone has said that, and maybe that's why Rubio hit him that way, knowing it was a sensitive subject.
Do you realize that you're probably the first person in American history, maybe even world history, to make a joke about your you-know-what on a debate stage?
No, I only made a joke about my hands. I have very powerful hands.
As for any other part of Trump's anatomy, his wife Melania seems ready to dismiss the whole matter.
Mrs. Trump, what did you think of that moment?
It was a great moment, okay?
Is there an imposter first lady walking around with the president? That's the theory out there.
Today marks the first full day Melania Trump and 11-year-old son Barron Trump are official residents of the White House, having finally moved from their New York penthouse apartment in Trump Tower.
Fake Melania? What is this?
And then there's that face not physically present on the Democratic debate stage, but ever present. Our facial expert says it's not so much the funny faces President Trump makes, but his signature expression. Chin pushed up, a sign of disgust and sadness. And when the wind blew, there it was, tape. The second time Donald Trump had been caught with his tape showing.
The president tweeted, without any comment, this photoshopped image of him as Rocky, which is totally what his chest looks like. He is jacked and he's ripped. I've seen the photos of him playing tennis.
Making funny faces and distracting noises.
The best ever at it. And you go to so many different places. It certainly looks that way.
By the way, do not Google Trump playing tennis. Just don't. It's like The Ring. It's like that movie. You can't unsee it.
I swore I wouldn't do another Faces of Trump story, but here it is, the sequel, because who could resist this?
And he gets his foreign policy experience from the shows.
Isn't spray tanning and or makeup really the most likely reason the president looks orange? Let's get back to that. I think all this shadow boxing with the ghost of Thomas Edison, it's misplaced. And while I doubt we're going to be hearing more from his orangeness about his particular cue, I'm glad he broke the silence. I feel it's out there. I just feel like we can just be done with it now.
Using the teleprompter seemed to have an unusual side effect on the Donald.
She gets rich inside the United States. The barbarians.
But now we've learned something new about the much maligned, most famous head of hair on any head of state.
Talk to your doctor about Propecia.
Only it was Trump's doctor who talked about Propecia to the New York Times, something a senior White House official says he did not have permission to do.
So something's wrong. There are lots of theories about what it is. There are some doctors who think they know. There are others who say we shouldn't speculate. There are ethical questions about even having this conversation at all. But we can't tiptoe around it anymore. We've got to talk about this.